Taylor, and welcome to Prime Family Alert. This segment of Prime Family Alert focuses on kids and summer activities. I was recently interviewed on a parenting radio show and thought that with summer around the corner, the topic of kids and summer activities seemed really timely. First question, what ultimately is the goal a parent should have in mind when they select/offer ideas to their children of what to do this summer? Parents should think about what they want their children to get out of their summer. I recommend anything that fosters kids' physical, intellectual, social, spiritual, environmental, cultural, or artistic development. In other words, what are the experiences that will further your children's greater understanding of themselves and the world in which they live? Also, parents should focus on summer activities that encourage certain values that parents want to instill in their children. For example, hard work, compassion, or learning about other cultures. If children are involved in sports, the arts, or another specialized area, activity-specific camps or other experiences devoted to these are a great way to allow them to enjoy themselves and to help them improve and strive toward their goals. Of course, having some summer activities that are just plain fun is important too. Question number 2. What summer activities should parents avoid for their children? Too many parents these days worry too much about their children's futures, so they send their kids to summer academic camps, for example, math or computer camp, or internships, for example, at law firms, hospitals, or in businesses, that they think will somehow better prepare them for college or a career. I think this is just another example of anxious parents trying to fast forward their intellectual and educational development, burnish their kids' resumes, or force their kids down a career path not of their choosing. Such experiences are often joyless for kids, unless of course they have a passion for it, and can actually hamper their educational pursuits by turning them off to academics. And there'll be plenty of time for kids to find a career path when they get to college. Number 3, what role does our popular culture play in these decisions? Well, parents feel a lot of pressure these days to keep up with the Joneses, meaning that they feel like if they're not doing what the Joneses are doing, then they'll somehow be viewed as bad parents. My advice is to make the Joneses jealous. While the Joneses are doing what everyone else is doing, unhappily very often I might add, you can be doing what your family wants to do. The ability to make the decision to buck the system comes from deliberately thinking about your family's values and interests and making conscious choices based on those priorities. Question number 4. What specific ideas can you offer parents to do with their 13 to 18-year-olds this summer? Summer jobs are one of the most powerful experiences teenagers can have. I think manual labor or mundane labor is especially good learning experience for teens, particularly in the privileged and insulated world in which many kids are raised these days. I worked, as an example, as a carpenter all through high school and college. It showed me the value of hard work, the direct relationship between earning a wage and producing something, and it really showed me how most people in America work. Plus, I learned a set of practical skills, that is, do-it-yourself, that I use with great pleasure to this day. My wife worked summers in a mall cookie shop. She benefited from many of the lessons that I learned. Camp counselor is a great summer job because it teaches kids leadership skills and the ability to work with and teach others. Working with disadvantaged kids can also be an eye-opening experience because it exposes privileged kids to people and a world that they wouldn't ordinarily see otherwise. Summertime is also a great time to get kids involved in household responsibilities. Your children should be assigned chores that contribute to the upkeep and functioning of the house. Painting a room, cleaning out the garage, or being in charge of the recycling are all great ways to teach children responsibility and to get the house in better shape. If you have a backyard, planting a vegetable garden is another wonderful experience for kids. They can learn about agriculture and healthy eating, and they can get their hands dirty too. Always a fun and healthy thing for kids to do. Seeing the fruits of their labor, no pun intended, can be a source of great satisfaction and perhaps even trigger a lifelong passion for gardening. Family activities should also be included in family plans. Family outings are a great way for you to connect with and strengthen your relationship with your kids and to do fun things together. The best summer activities for families are those in which parents and children share a unique and new experience, visit a place totally unfamiliar to everyone, or do something that requires a family to interact in different ways. For example, one family I know spent 2 weeks helping to build a house for Habitat for Humanity. Another family spent a week camping in the mountains. Question number 5. What role does boredom play in summer activities? Does boredom have any value? Boredom happens when children have too much time in their hands and nothing to do. And summers, when kids aren't in school and may not have as much structure in their days, are a potential breeding ground for boredom. Boredom can be a dangerous thing because when children have nothing to do, mischief, or worse, is always a great way to make life exciting. Remember the saying, idle hands are the devil's playground? Boredom, though, can also be a great tool for development if it's handled properly. Too often these days, when kids get bored, parents give them something to entertain them, such as put them in front of a TV or a computer, or send them to the mall. But boredom can also encourage creativity and self-initiative. When kids tell their parents they're bored, the parent should say, "So, what are you going to do about it?" Parents can offer activities that are healthy, such as organizing informal soccer games, going to parks and museums, or doing chores around the house. That, by the way, will get kids motivated to do something very quickly. At the same time, I do think that a part of summer should be devoted to downtime, meaning just hanging out at home and taking it easy. But that doesn't mean sitting in front of a screen for easy entertainment. Kids do need time to rest and recharge. So much of kids' lives these days are programmed and go, go, go. But this time, that is some downtime, should not comprise the bulk of the summer, but rather a short period, perhaps a week before school begins. Number 6, how does a parent address the fact that if a child does not want to do, attend, or volunteer at certain activities? I have a saying, doing nothing is not an option. Kids have to do something with their summers. You can give your kids some options from which they can choose, including some form of work. But I believe the kids should be forced to do something. One family I know has a rule. One thing the parents want the kids to do, and one thing the kids want to do. This rule amounts to a great win-win for kids and parents. Last question, number 7. Is there anything else you'd like to add regarding this subject? I think it's reasonable for parents to be a little selfish in deciding what summer activities in which their children will participate. For example, when parents choose to send their children to sleepaway camp, that gives them, the parents, the opportunity to have some real quality husband and wife time, alone to either travel or pursue interests that they might not otherwise do. This solo time can be healthy for the individual spouses and for the marriage. And as we all know, happy parents and happy marriages make for happy and healthy families. I'm Dr. Jim Taylor for Prime Family Alert.